Hi, Scott Orlin with CINEMA-Magazin. There is a gentleman we're about to interview who has not one, but two major films that have come out this year and an important organization, which we're going to talk about, Sacha Baron Cohen. You know, Sacha, looking at the trial of the Chicago Seven and Borat, one would think they are diametrically opposed, and yet at the core of both of them are intolerance, ignorance, dealing with social injustice, and these characters are shining a light on it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's was important that they both came out just prior to the election. Um, I felt that this election had the fate of democracy, um, was clearly at stake. You know, it rested whether voters would stand up in record numbers and choose truth over lies. And it was whether voters would actually be active. You know, Chicago 7 is about activism. And the basic form of activism in a democracy is choosing to vote. And what we saw in this election was more Americans voted than at any other time. And luckily for me, they voted Trump out and they chose democracy over a slide towards authoritarianism. But both these movies were about, even though, you know, I'd been connected with the Chicago Seven for 13 years, suddenly it had become even more relevant than it was back then. It was about the power of activism, the importance of the Black Lives Matter movement, the injustice of the system, systemic racism, and the importance to be active and fight for what you believe in.
It's funny that you say that because your character in the Chicago Seven, while in one essence was a comedian, I mean, he used humor to kind of get to his goals, but he was very much an activist. And recently you have taken on this mantle, which I have to applaud you for, which is Stop Hate for Profit. And we're seeing so much in social media that the greed of these companies are willing to accept anything regardless of the truth. How important has this mission been for you?
It's been really important because I realized a few years ago that social media prioritized lies and conspiracy theories. And ultimately, democracy relies on us having a shared system of facts. And then we can have our own opinions about the facts, but we need to have that basic consensus of what the facts are. So I realized that inherently democracy would be disintegrated by social media. And I was very, very reluctant to speak out as myself. I actually pushed a number of other celebrities to go and speak on this topic. They refused. And eventually I gave a speech in 2019 as my first ever speech in my voice. And I warned that, you know, Facebook and social media companies are the greatest propaganda machine in history, and that we needed a fundamental rethink of social media and the net. And, you know, I felt we had some important victories this year. We got QAnon banned from Facebook, and there were 3,000 members of QAnon on Facebook spreading these vile medieval conspiracy theories about politicians and celebrities drinking children's blood. It seems absurd, but there are millions of people who had been fed those lies through social media. And they believed that Trump was fighting against this cabal of cannibalistic pedophiles.
And
so,
if
sorry,
one last question before they take me away.
Sorry, I go on too long.
Not at all, not at all. You talked about that you had been with Chicago 7 for almost 13 years, and it's fascinating because sometimes people tend to stereotype you and think, oh, you know, he's an impersonator. You know, he does Borat, he does Bruno. But those characters can only be created by somebody acting, and you are creating something. So I want to talk about your evolution as an actor, where you started when you first got that little creative itch. Is this journey the one you were meant to be on?
Yes, I think it is. I mean, I've had incredible luck over the years. Um, it's you got to remember, it's a profession where most people fail. So even if you've got some talent, even if you work as hard as you can, you still need luck. But yes, it's something that I wanted to do. I chose to go to Cambridge University because I wanted to get into the Cambridge Footlights. Ironically, they never allowed me in. And so I had to quickly become an actor. But yeah, it's a journey that I always wanted to do. It was a journey that I was embarrassed to admit to my friends that I wanted to be. It's a bit like saying you want to be a model. You're basically implying that you're very good looking. To say you want to be an actor or a comedian implies that you think that you have talent. So it's a dreadfully embarrassing thing to reveal to your friends that that's your ambition. But yeah, I mean, I've been extremely lucky. I've worked with these. I mean, the actors in Chicago 7, they're some of the best actors in the world. I remember just getting there, not believing that I was working with these people and I was on the same side of the camera as them. I've had the privilege of working with Martin Scorsese and Tim Burton and, Aaron Sorkin, Tom Hooper. I've been so lucky. So I don't know whether this was meant to be my journey, but yeah, I'm very happy to be on it.
And screw those people at Cambridge.
Well, they helped me because I had to learn how to act.
Well, I think you're doing a very great job at it. Sacha Baron Cohen, is always such a pleasure.
Thank you. Great to see you.
Stop the hate for profit. So let's try and spread that word. This is
Okay,
Scott Orlin. Until next time.
Okay, all the best. See you, mate.